Have you ever thought about how the words you use to describe your experience becomes your experience? Let's talk about that today. Hello guys, and welcome back to Mindset Monday TV. My name is Gary Drum, the author of Killing a Fat Guy: How to Kill a Fat Person Living in Your Mind and Create the Fit, Healthy Person You've Always Wanted to Be. I'm also the host of KillingAFatGuyTV.com and the Killing a Fat Guy Show podcast.com, or the KillingAFatGuyShow.com podcast. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that is kind of an interesting idea from the perspective of your life and your experiences and what you think about those experiences that you have, what you think about other people, and really what's most important of all is what you think about yourself. And that is really your vocabulary. The term that I used at the beginning of this video, the words you use to describe an experience becomes the experience for you. And what that means is, if you describe things in a way that are disempowering or negative, then that experience becomes disempowering and negative for you. Or if you describe yourself in a way that is disempowering and negative, then that becomes your experience of who you actually are. So if you describe yourself in a sense of, like, for example, I say, I'm fat. Now, that could be taken in a lot of different ways. That could be taken as just an acknowledgement of the fact that you're overweight and you want to do something about it. Or it can become an identity for you about yourself. In other words, you're saying, I'm fat, so you're kind of accepting this idea of who you are and the realities of the fact that you're overweight, and you're just accepting the idea. Rather than just looking at it and saying, okay, yeah, right now, I'm a little bit overweight and I intend to do this and so about it. That's more like describing the idea of being overweight or not being in the healthiest state that you could possibly be in, and just looking at that from a reality perspective and saying, yes, this is the situation, but here's what I'm going to do about it, right? That's a different thing than just saying I'm fat and that's the way I am and that's the way I'm going to be forever and ever. Also, when it comes to describing your experiences in life, what you have experienced, like, for example, the term overwhelming may have a negative connotation for you. Overwhelming may have a lot of emotional baggage that goes with it from the term overwhelming, meaning it's just too much for me to handle. And if it's just too much for me to handle, I'm going to respond in a different way. I might shut down, I might get angry, I might get frustrated, I might just not do anything because the situation is overwhelming. Whereas if I might use a different term that maybe doesn't have as much of a negative connotation, for example, like it's challenging. Challenging may have a different connotation for you. And challenging may mean, okay, it's a challenge. It's something I can accept and I can go out and do something about. Challenge meaning I can change it. I can do it if I do the work to make it what I want it to be. So in the ideas of the vocabulary that you use on a consistent basis and how that describes your experience and how that describes yourself or how that describes other people, it becomes that word for you, and all of the emotional baggage that's attached to that word becomes part of the experience of that person or that circumstance or whatever else is going on in your life. So what do you do about that? How do you change that? How do you really look at things in a different way and try to expand beyond these negative connotation or disempowering language to something that's more empowering, that gives you the ability to change it, gives you the ability to make it different for yourself and to experience something else? Well, the easiest way to do that is to expand your vocabulary. And by expanding your vocabulary, what I mean is not necessarily sitting down and reading a dictionary. It could be something as simple as picking up books on mindset or psychology or positive psychology or things of that nature that just make these minor little changes in the way that you're thinking, and how those minor changes can have really, really huge impacts on the overall experience that you're having at the end of the whole situation. So when you're doing that, definitely look for some books that can help you define things a little bit differently. We want things to be empowering. We want to give ourselves the ability to recognize our own power in making changes that can take us towards the goal that we may have. The goal to be fit, the goal to be healthy, the goal to be financially independent, the goal to have great relationships, or whatever those goals might be. Those are the ways that we want to think so that we can move in the direction of making those things possible for us and not get stuck in habitual thinking patterns that really hold us back and cause us to not take action because we're feeling disempowered by the very language that we're using to describe the experience or to describe ourselves. So when you're doing that, think in terms of what words am I using on a habitual basis that may be disempowering me? What phrases or words do I say consistently that may not be so powerful for me and that actually shut me down from making my goals or from pursuing my goals at all? How am I doing this? How am I thinking? What is my mind telling me? And it's really interesting because when you start to look at what thoughts you're having and what words you're using to describe your experiences, you'll find that there's usually several different phrases that you use on a consistent basis. Even though you may not say them aloud, you might have them just in your mind. They might just be thoughts that are going through your head, and you're using those thoughts to describe an experience to yourself or to describe yourself to yourself, and those ultimately shut you down. So the way you get around that is to become mindful about the thoughts that you're having, the words that you say, and the terms and phrases that you use to describe things that are going on with yourself or in your life, and see which ones make you feel empowered as opposed to disempowered. Like, for example, overwhelm versus challenge, or angry versus a little irritated. There's different weights to those words and those phrases that you use to describe a particular experience about yourself or a circumstance or even someone else. So when you're thinking about that, that's really the best way to become aware of the language that you're using to describe things, and make little changes in the words that you're using to do those descriptions to something else that maybe has a better empowering, or rather more empowering, impact on you than the words that you've been choosing so far. So that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you today on Mindset Monday TV. As always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, and you'll get a new Mindset Monday video every week. Although I will say I have taken the last couple of weeks off from vacation, did a little bit of time away with my family, and that was wonderful. We really kind of needed that break for a little while just to kind of get away from everything. So we're back though. We're back on Mindset Monday TV. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll be doing new videos every week. And also check out my podcast at killingafatguyshow.com, where I talk about more mindset stuff, and I talk about nutrition, and I talk about training, and all of the things that you really need with that mindset nutrition training so that you can pursue your goals and create this fit, healthy version of yourself that you're really wanting to create. And it's about doing that and about meeting those goals. Also, remember to check me out on Instagram and Twitter. It's just at Killing a Fat Guy, and I'm posting stuff up there constantly. Pretty much every day I post some kind of motivational meme or training results or thoughts that I'm having or things that are going on. I'll post all kinds of information up there, and you'll get links to most of my other content. For all of the links to my content, just check out killingafatguy.com. I've got tons of information up there. And join us on Facebook at facebook.com/killingafatguy. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, and share on this video, and subscribe, and you'll get a new video every week. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again next week.